Alright, today I thought I would go over my voiceover technique, using one of my old reviews, my 5 PS1 games worth playing from, I don't even remember when I uploaded this, but it's been a long time. Back in the day, when I would do my voiceover, I would try and say each paragraph perfectly without making a mistake or with as little mistakes as possible. That's just how I did it. I don't even understand why I did it like that. But later I kind of developed the technique that I can just edit out my mistakes. So that way I'm not like yelling at the mic and then being out of breath by the end of the paragraph and taking deep breaths. I'm even at the point where I edit out my breathing in a review, just because for me it just keeps the flow going. And for me personally, all I ever hear is myself mouth breathing in my reviews whenever I would take the breaths in to say the next line. But that's me personally. Like when I watch my old reviews, if someone else does a review and you can hear them breathing, it doesn't even bother me. I don't even notice it. But for me personally, all I ever heard was just mouth breathing, my own mouth breathing. I'm like, so I'm going to go over just an example of how I would do it. If I was doing this review today or remaking this review, how I would do it with techniques or with what I've learned over the years. Again, in my previous video, I'm a slow learner, didn't know anything about sound editing, and also, like I said, I would try and get every paragraph perfect before I would save the clip. But let's just go over it. First and foremost, Audacity. So what I would do, if you see how I kind of had this formatted, my reviews, I don't do, some people write scripts, I don't. I just write a review. Some people would be like, write in something like show Devil Dice footage here, show this here, show that there in the review. For me, I just read the review, and then I do all that editing myself later. This is kind of the fun of editing for me. I usually have in my head an idea of what I'm going to put in the video and what footage I'm going to show where, but I don't write it in the actual review. So if you're looking for like some good script writing, I'm not the guy to look for. But I can show you how I would do voiceover today. And you see how I have this formatted here. It's see how I got this paragraph and I put a lot of space. It's because when reading, sometimes this little separation, I guess I could just reformat it so this line goes down here, but I'm too lazy to do that. So instead, I'd rather just hit enter, 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 and put the paragraph on the next page. So I use Audacity and I make it small enough, just kind of out of the way. When I hit record, I can see I hit the record button. But I don't read the whole thing out. I'll read it paragraph by paragraph. I'll save it in each paragraph. Now, if you have the patience to go through an entire sound file that you read through and edit out the mistakes and all that stuff, for me it's easier just to be, 5 PS1 para 1, para 2, para 3. I won't even do like Devil Dice para 1. I'll just say para 1, para 2, so that way I know there's like 36 paragraphs in whatever video. That way it also goes in sequential number, so and then sometimes when I goober or need to add something, I'll say para to fix or something. Like if I need to add, like, let's say I say, hello, back to the third edition. I'm like, oh man, I need to put welcome in there or welcome back or something. I would do a little para whatever insert, it would be like 5 PS1 para 1 insert or something for my own personal notes, or my own personal, that way I know I have to splice that in somewhere. So let's just go over some sound editing. And now I don't know if there'll be a weird echo or something using Audacity. So if it sounds a little weird, forgive me, but I'm just going over like how I would do this. First and foremost, I need to zoom in. Second most, I'm going to give it a font 14, maybe 13. We'll go 13. And then, hold on. This is really old when I had a smaller screen and I could see a lot more. A font 12 was good enough. Well, I'll go to 13, and maybe sometimes making it bold works better, sometimes doesn't. And for me, Arial is easier to read than Times New Roman. That's just my personal, whatever font you like. But for me, might not look easy for you to read right now, but for me, I can read it better. It just seems to flow better. So let's see. Actually, I'll skip the introduction. I'll start with Devil Dice. So if I was gonna record this for voiceover, paragraph 1, I'd start here, and then Like I said, instead of trying to get the whole paragraph, if I mess up, I can edit it out. Sometimes it makes for some weird, janky cuts. I'm sure you've heard some in some of my old reviews. But, so, let's go. I used to actually stand up and read this out loud in my old apartment whenever I had my little headset. But now I can sit down, get my face closer to the rodent and come in clearer. Let's see. I don't know how my Audacity is set up. So recording volume, recording level 70%. I tend to move it around sometimes if I feel like I'm too low or then I get too high. But if I'm just close to the mic and reading, this is how I would do it. So, anyway. Marketed as a devilishly... See, I already goobered. So I would actually just throw this one out. So stop. If I mess up on the first sentence, I delete. But let's start again. Marketed as a devilish... Oh, man, I cannot read today. Marketed as a devilishly... Man. Marketed as a devilishly addictive puzzle game, Devil Dice lives up to that name with ease. Conceptually simple. You move a cutesy devil around on top of dice, flipping and turning each die until you line up the same number of dice with the same number on top. I'm pretty sure I misspelled die here, so forgive my goobering. Anyway. For example, touching 2 dice with the number 2 face up will make those dice disappear. And since the dice slowly disappear from the screen, that allows you to continuously combo... And since the dice slowly disappear from the screen, that allows you to continuously combo by adding more dice with... And since the dice continuously... Man. See, I lost where I was even looking. So, this one I'd throw this one away. So, actually, I'll just show you. So, throw this away. So, here's what it would sound like raw. Marketed as a devilishly addictive puzzle game, Devil Dice lives up to that name with ease. Conceptually, so that's how it would sound raw. So then I'm gonna do, so here, just a quick limiter, and I'm gonna do limiter at, I'm gonna limit it down to -6. I've heard that was decent. I don't know. This is the part where I need to figure out better numbers. So I'm limiting it down to -6. And then I'm going to effect normalize and to I'll go -3 on the normalization. So apply, and then marketed as a devilishly addictive puzzle game, Devil Dice lives up to that name with ease. Conceptually simple. I don't really use that's one thing I don't do is use headphones whenever I'm doing my voiceover. Like, I don't listen to myself talking into the mic when I'm reading because I realize I talk way too slow whenever I do that. Whenever I can hear myself, there's a slight delay. So I find myself slowing down what I am saying. Well, since I'm having trouble with Devil Dice, I'll use a different paragraph here. Let's go... Where am I at? Wow. So... Devil Dice... So... I'll start with Einhander. Einhander. At about this time, the hardcore shoot-'em-up fans are rolling their eyes. Amongst their circles, Einhander is considered an extremely overrated game. However, coming from Squaresoft, Einhander is easily the most recognizable shoot-'em-up on the PS1, and is one of the most asked about games in my original 100 PS1 games video. So even if there are a plethora of better shoot-'em-ups in the PS1's library of shooters, Einhander is easily the most recognizable one. And sometimes if I got it, I will go on to the second paragraph. Oh, hold on. Sometimes if I get it, I actually can go on to the second paragraph. And also, in Audacity itself, you can cut off, like... So if you want to sound edit within Audacity, I just choose to do it in my video editing software, but... Let's see, I can, actually, I don't know where the tab is, and so I have a newer version of Audacity than I was using previously. There should be, maybe if I hit delete? Ah, there we go. Just delete it. So that little bit I just said, I can delete it. But so sometimes if I am feeling good in the flow, I will use the second paragraph. But other times I will export this as para 1, Einhander para 1. So, but let's move on. So, given the strong lineup of PS1 shooters, I understand the sentiment of those who call it overrated. Considering that amongst some crowds it is touted as the PS1's best, or to some, See, this is another thing I do. Hold on, let's stop my recording. Another thing I'll do is ad lib on the fly. Like if I realize I made a typo, sometimes I will correct the typo, or other times I will just ad lib. Where was I at, anyways? Okay. Given the strong lineup of PS1 shooters, I understand the sentiment of those who call it overrated, considering that among some crowds it's touted as the PS1's best, or to some people even considered the greatest shoot 'em up of all time. I don't consider it to be the greatest, even on the PS1. While I don't consider it to be the greatest, even on the PS1, I do consider it to be a great shoot 'em up with tight gameplay and all the things that make the genre so fun. Alright, so that was a better paragraph. So, effect, I'll do limiter, limit to -6. Actually, hold on. Edit, undo limiter. Let's play it. See. Einhander. At about this time, the hardcore shoot 'em up fans are rolling their eyes. Amongst their circles, Einhander is considered. Okay, so that's the raw. So let's go effect. Now we'll do limiter. Apply. Einhander. At about this time, the hardcore. So that's what it is, just regular limited, and then we'll go effect. We'll normalize. Einhander. At about this time, the hardcore shoot. Generally, that should. So if I'm gonna export, I'd be export audio, and since this is just gonna go into the Audacity file, normally I make a different folder for every voiceover I'm gonna do for every game. But I'll just say we'll go Einhander para 1, even though I just completely type Einhander. Sometimes I'll be like, screw it, it's a typo. I know what it means. H-A-N-D-E-R. Yes, Einhander, not Einhander. So, there. And then, whoa. We'll export. So then I can come here and put it into a video. I need to find some footage of Einhander. Hold on. Where's my book H? New movie. Don't save. Okay, so here. Let me see if I have some stock footage of Einhander from gameplay samples I did years ago. I've kept most of my videos over the years on an external. I had a hard drive failure in my early YouTube career, or early YouTubing, so I lost a lot of my first videos, like my original 100 PS1 games montage, the raw file for it. Long gone, but let's see. PlayStation systems, go PS1, I'll see if I can find Einhander. We'll go Einhander, there we go. So I can just come here. I normally do like -15 to -25 on the footage. I like having the gameplay noise in the background. So here's that, and then we'll pull. Let's see, homemade. Where am I at? No. Documents, Audacity. That's right. So we'll pull Einhander para 1. Throw you down here, and we'll just first of all get some decent footage of Einhander. Let's see. Bam. Well, some action footage. So this is what it would kind of be like. So I'd come here and and then I'd cut out the mistakes or the goobers. So, come on. Again, I'm not great at video editing, so if I'm driving you crazy by sucking at it, I don't claim to be good. But, so let's see. Where's my volume? Hold on. Let me change. Amongst their circles, Einhander is considered an extremely overrated game. If you hear an echo, sorry, it's coming through my mic. I can't hear it in my headphones. However, coming from Squaresoft, so let's come back here. Einhander. At about this time, the hardcore shoot-'em-up fans are rolling their eyes. Amongst their circles, So I'd come here and, now some people say I make it the talking way too fast when I cut out the space in between what I'm saying, but for me, I'm just kind of at the point where I'm like, just get to the point. I guess everyone's so used to YouTubers trying to stretch their videos out to at least make 8 minutes long so they can get the mid-rolls that someone talking fast, they're just like, I can't understand. Amongst their circles, Einhander is considered an extremely overrated game. Yeah, I like clowning on everyone. So let's see, come here, just edit out the spaces. So, however, coming from Squaresoft, Einhander is easily the most recognizable shoot-'em-up on the PS1. And you see I goobered or coughed or something here. What did I do here? So, and it, yeah. There's a good chance this is the one I didn't mess up on. Even though I just took this footage, I should remember, but... And is one of the most asked about games in my original 100 PS1 games video. Alright. Again, I do it if I can in one take. Some people will do multiple voiceovers. I'm not that, I don't know, thorough. If I can get it in one take, it sounds good enough. You know, I don't got a whole lot of time to do a lot of this that some people do. I'm not a perfectionist. So even if there are... There you go, I goobered. So even if there are a plethora of better... Okay, so even if... Actually, I think I accidentally said this. Oh no, that's right. So even if there... And, sometimes you can get it real close to see where it's at. Other times, not so much. Sometimes I leave a goofy, weird gap, or... I don't know. It sounds weird to me, but maybe it flows okay to everyone else. Video. So even if there are a plethora of better shoot-'em-ups in the PS1's library of shooters. So I'll come here. Cut you. See, that one looks almost similar, but maybe not. I don't know. Einhander. Given the... Okay. Yeah, this is the boring, tedious part. But then again, if you edit videos, you already know that. So, yeah. Einhander is easily the most recognizable one. Down here. Actually, I can make that smaller. Alright, so... Wonder... So that one looks like it definitely goobered here. Which one? What is this one? Considering that... Alright. Get it close enough. And then cut. So... Given the strong lineup of PS1 shooters, I understand the sentiment of those who call it overrated. Alright. Considering that amongst some crowds it is touted as the PS1's best, or to some... Actually, I think I've repeated this line, but either way. So you get the general idea here. So... Read it. You can make mistakes. You can edit out your mistakes, some sound editing and putting the clip in the final video. In fact, I'll finish this one little sentence or whatever, this paragraph. Given the strong lineup of PS1. So that one is... Given the strong... Okay, I like the next one better. So, given the strong lineup of PS1 shooters, I understand the sentiment of those who call it overrated. Yeah. So, and again, my videos aren't super complex. I'm not a great video editor, but I'll just throw this one little paragraph at the end of this video you're watching, just so you know how it can tie in. Actually, I might up the volume in Einhander. -15, sometimes, like, depending, I like to be able to hear the game in the background, so maybe I'll do -10. Oh, no, not 10, -10. No. -10. There we go. +10 would be a little extreme on your ears. So, anyway, so just a simple basic going over, doing some voiceover, and doing some sound editing, and my process for it. Again, I used to try and do an entire paragraph. Here's one I never actually did. I was going to do 5 underrated PS2 games part 4. I just never got around to it, but I'm a big fan of, even if you don't finish it, save it and keep it with you, because, for example, I was coming down here and The Adventures of Cookie and Cream, I ended up making its own video by itself. So even if you abandon a project and the writing on a project, save it. You could take a part of that project and turn it into a future video. So anyway, I just thought I'd go over it. Hopefully this was helpful, or at least insightful. If you're trying to get into YouTube video editing and making, or sound editing, or you're wondering how to do some voiceover reviews, or my process might be archaic and out of dated and not really good or not efficient for you, but that's just the way I do it. So hopefully this helps you. So other than that, have a wonderful day, evening, good night, whatever time this video hits you. Einhander. At about this time, the hardcore shoot-'em-up fans are rolling their eyes. Amongst their circles, Einhander is considered an extremely overrated game. However, coming from Squaresoft, Einhander is easily the most recognizable shoot-'em-up on the PS1, and is one of the most asked about games in my original 100 PS1 games video. So even if there are a plethora of better shoot-'em-ups in the PS1's library of shooters, Einhander is easily the most recognizable one. Given the strong lineup of PS1 shooters, I understand the sentiment of those who call it overrated, considering that among some crowds it's touted as the PS1's best, or to some people even considered the greatest shoot-'em-up of all time. While I don't consider it to be the greatest, even on the PS1, I do consider it to be a great shoot-'em-up with tight gameplay and all the things that make the genre so fun.